Have you ever tried to improve something about yourself? Try focusing your mind on that particular thing that you have tried to improve. Think about the tedious process that you have gone through. Think about the amount of time and energy that you have spent going from where you were to where you wanted to be. What was that process like for you? Was it difficult? Or maybe even frustrating that it seemed to be taking too long? Now, focus on the outcome of your improvement process. If you were a little disappointed with the results, you may have been lured to the dark, toxic side of self-improvement. I have been drawn into the toxic side of self-improvement, like many other people. And perhaps you also have. That toxic side exists at any level of skill or accomplishment because deep within us is a belief that there is something wrong with us. Our awareness of it may not be so evident, but it exists and it affects us. It is truly a bitter belief to hold, and it is also a false belief. But until we come to acknowledge that it is false, we are in the dark. We are unhappy about who we are and what's possible in our lives. When we think there is something wrong with us, we have a strong impulse to fix it. Because if we can fix it, then we can prove to ourselves that we are okay, that we are worthy, that we have what it takes. But the fact of the matter is, nothing needs to be proven. A fix is not necessary because we are not broken. We are whole. Our minds are sound and learning. We are unabridged and growing. The bud is never less whole than the blossom. It is just at a different stage of development. We are not a lesser person when we feel unfulfilled in a certain area. We are just in a stage of development that's calling us to a greater fulfillment. We are growing, so there is no need to prove we have what it takes. Of course, we have what it takes. We have what it takes to grow. It is innate in us. But when we bear this belief that there is something wrong with us, and we initiate an improvement process from that point, we are on the toxic and unhappy side of self-improvement because it does literally make us unhappy. And in that state, an entire circle of self-negating experiences can flourish. Let me highlight two of those. First, when we think there is something wrong with us, we look outside of ourselves for answers and solutions. We abandon our own inner wisdom, our inspired impulses, our genuine longing, and instead, we place all of our trust in the advice of others. We abide by common knowledge rather than the uncommon wisdom of our mind. In effect, we are giving our power away. As we do that, we begin to feel hollow and empty. It may seem we are taking the steps toward improvement, but because we have abandoned ourselves, we are not fully alive. We disenfranchise ourselves when we follow someone else's path and not our own. The second is the lack of fulfillment. When we believe there is something wrong with us that is in need of fixing, the improvement process becomes about the fix, the end point, the goal. So we work hard to get to that point because we only experience satisfaction when we reach that goal, which means we are depriving ourselves of the satisfaction of experiencing the here and now. And because of that false belief, We have a tendency to judge ourselves each step of the way because we are comparing ourselves unfavorably to that goal we have not yet reached. This is the toxic and indeed unhappy side of self improvement. When we secretly believe there is something wrong with us, we will keep creating experiences that reinforce that belief. It is depleting and diminishing. But there is a better way. Please allow me to tell you about my story. I was extremely unhappy with my job. I was frustrated with myself for being stuck. In other words, I felt there was something wrong with me. I assumed that it would be more fulfilling if I could find work with a company whose mission was more aligned with what really mattered to me. And so the job hunt began. I was doing all the things other people advised me to do, updating my resume, browsing posts from job websites, contacting all my former colleagues, letting them know I was looking, and of course, going to networking events. I am an introvert. I hate networking events. Honestly, there was not much in the job hunt process that I really felt good about. But I kept trudging along because a goal was set and had to be met by a certain date. I felt overwhelmed by the process. I had become so obsessed with finding and analyzing prospects and submitting resumes that I got lost in those tasks, which meant I lost connection with myself. I lost connection with my honest longings. I lost connection with the present moment. I was so worried about the future, what kind of job I might or might not be able to find. After realizing this disconnection, I mustered some courage and suspended the job hunt and gave myself time to pause and go deeply within. I worked to find and reconnect with myself. And as I did that, I discovered a few essential things. First, I realized that what I truly wanted deeply at that time was to spend more time with my family. I also remembered that I used to love teaching, so I decided to do more of that. And most importantly, I became aware of how hard I was on myself. I would doubt, would judge myself at almost every turn, always thinking I should be doing things better or doing better things. Here is a little secret that I'd like to share with you right now. Self-judgment will undoubtedly never get you where you want to go. First and foremost, shift your focus to having a better relationship with yourself. Learn to listen to yourself, to respect yourself, and to trust yourself. In the process, you will learn how to translate your feelings into useful information. You will learn that habits of constant doubt and self-judgment were just that, habits, and habits can be unlearned. You will also see clearly what is right for you one step at a time rather than forcing yourself to adhere to a rigid formula from someone else. In essence, you will learn how to stop pushing yourself forward and instead how to love yourself forward. Long story short, it worked for me. I discovered there was nothing wrong with me that needed to be fixed. I only needed to slow down and listen to my own inner guidance. I am now at peace and genuinely happy. I spend quality time with my family and have moments with them that are profoundly healing. I also followed one of my inspired impulses to start writing and sharing about these experiences, which I had never considered before. And it is truly satisfying. And because I am so much present and aware, I recognize an opportunity to take on this challenge. On the dark and toxic side of self-improvement, I thought that a new job would fix things and thought that I had to do what everyone else does to find one. But on that dark side, I could not see clearly. I kept judging myself as lacking and perceiving my progress as slow. But in the light of truth, I recognize how talented and passionate I actually am. I connected with a pure longing for greater self-expression and realized that fulfillment goes beyond any job. I learned that my best guide to fulfillment is myself. I am the expert and authority on my own life. Each one of us is the expert and authority on our own lives. Your path to fulfillment is unique to you, just as mine is unique to me. It does not mean that we can't learn from others who have succeeded where we want to succeed. Of course we can. We thrive when we connect with each other and open to someone else's wisdom. But there's a crucial difference between learning from someone and giving our power away to another person's formula. One comes from a sense of self-worth, and the other comes from a sense of lack. We give our power away when we judge ourselves as lacking. Remember that self-judgment will never get you where you want to go, if where you want to go is fulfillment. So the next time you think there might be something to improve about yourself, pause for a while. Go within. Rather than asking, what do I need to fix? Ask, what do I need to create? What do I want to create or experience? How do I want to grow? When you're growth-oriented rather than goal-oriented, you can experience fulfillment each step of the way because you're growing more and more into your magnificence. And as you take those steps, trust your inner sense of what's right for you and what is not. Listen to what your inner voice is telling you about what you really want, and promise to keep listening to yourself. Learn to love yourself. You have what it takes to succeed because you are what it takes.